Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Good to see you guys here. So who we got in the chat, man? We have Justin, Alka, and Fron. How you guys doing there? Good to see you guys nice and early. We'll begin going in just a minute here. Just need to share some links, and then we'll be good to go. We do have a few things that I need to do, really. For instance, we do have a few cargo ships around the Empire, specifically like Indochina. We're not really doing anything with them, so I would like to see what we can do is potentially see if we can find an escort or see what else is available in terms of options. So I do need to get those ships moving. I'd like to really try and start the conversion of a few more ships as well. That'd be ideal. So we'll get that going in just a minute here. Not be long now. How are you guys doing, by the way, then? It's good to see you all again. Uno momento. Right, there we go. Okay, so AT, how you doing there? Tone, AMMW, Chainsaw Joe, how you guys doing? Right, then we'll get right into this, and shall we? CTRG, I like that. Yeah, so I was just taking a look at what we were doing last time. Now, it is interesting, actually, how we must approach this situation. Now, Mutsu, she came out of this practically unscathed. It's a shame. She does still have her secondary armament, so that is something to bear in mind. I mean, this is like cruiser-level armaments, obviously with the 14cm guns, so it's those 140mm guns. I mean, obviously, if we compare this to the light cruisers around the force, such as Tatsuta and Ibari. Now, I was actually quite worried about Tatsuta, but no, they came out of this okay. So Tatsuta over here, obviously, she did lose one of her torpedo mounts. That's going to take some time to actually repair that. But overall, she's okay. But yeah, you take a look at this. So 14cm. So in terms of equivalency, we've had our battleship reduced to the armament of a light cruiser. Though the heavy cruisers do suffer worse from this sort of light munitions. Now, Aoba does still have some munitions here for some of their weaponry, though it's primarily down to the 12cm guns here. So hey-ho. We do still have some torpedoes left here. We obviously do have 49% of our ammunition here. AAA, well, yeah, 79. ASW is still good to go. Obviously very little in the way of ASW here, to be honest. That's good there, Justin. Hello there, Franz Ferdinand. Battling Giza and Joshua Milansky. Milowski. Something like that. How you doing there, my friend? Okay, what I'm going to do here then is we're going to have them go out and merge with the task force over here, which is obviously the remnants of the Fiji cover force over here. So obviously Nagato, Furataka, Kakao, and Hayati. In terms of actual damage, it's really Kakao that has been hurt the worst here. Now, she's got major damage here in the flooding department. Thankfully, no other major damage. No major damage here on Nagato. No major damage on Furataka. A little bit of major damage here on the Destroyer here, but that shouldn't be too hard to deal with. So, in reality, this situation looks worse than it actually is. Now, Infinite did make... Yeah, Infinite Monkey... Sorry, let me see if I can find the comment. He did make a very good point here. I'm just going to read this comment. I do actually read the comments on the videos. I know it's rare that I actually address them, but I do get around to it every now and then. So if we take a look over here then, so, yep, okay. So there was a comment here by Sean Mack. Losing a light cruiser, even if you get the whole force, is not ideal. Japan historically not only commissioned a handful, and the Allies would be able to replace the force. Also, Canberra and Australia are more important ships, as they are better trained and have surface search radar. The New Orleans only has air search at this point. So at which point, Infinite Monkey here replies with, the Imperial Japanese light cruisers are fairly pathetic, granted. The two that were damaged a little more than slow destroyers, they only have 14cm guns and top speed of 18 knots. Kotora's 24 victory points is not that much to lose. New Orleans is 40. Canberra and Australia are 38. Sarah's and Perth are 22. Barker is 5. If you can sync them with Kitabutai, that's 165 VPs to 24 VPs, a win for the Imperial Japanese Navy. The bigger issue is the damage to Nagato, Kakao, and Furataka. If Kakao does not make it home, then sinking all the allied ships becomes vital to make the battle even a marginal win for the Imperial Japanese Navy. The decisive 165 to 24 win becomes something like 164 to 64 marginal victory. That's a good point, actually. It's a good point. Hello there, pirate. Right, question here, Franz. Will Kiributai strike the Allied task force? Yes, they will. They attempted to do that last turn, actually, but due to the weather, they weren't able to do so. Now, of course, that is still a potential possibility due to actual weather conditions here. So, I mean, the issue is we have thunderstorms in the Hex over here as well. We'll take a look at the actual weather in the general area, try and get an idea of what we might be expecting. Okay. Thunderstorms over here, yeah, seems to be like a rather poor weather here in this area at the moment. Thunderstorms over here as well. However, down here is heavy cloud, partial cloud here. Now, what we're going to expect from DHG, it's going to be rather interesting. It could potentially head down here to Noumea. Granted, I think the thing is... yeah, I think the thing is, if he heads here to Noumea, he knows that only... yeah, he's not going to survive in Noumea. I think he might attempt to head for Fiji. The thing is, if he is as damaged... yeah, if he's as damaged as... we are. I mean, this is it. I'd be really rather interested to see how he's come off here. I think Ceres has probably gone down there. But I'm going to assume that his other ships did take damage. Maybe not huge amounts, but they've taken some damage at the very least. And so I'm going to say that he's not going to be able to make full speed, or he could attempt to, but I don't think that's going to do him any good. I heard you read in the comments on the last stream, was it just the one or both? We did have... well, Kotori went down. Kotori went down. So if we take a look over here, so obviously that's the remnants of the escort force. Sorry, no, it's Kashima that went down. Now, Kotori, she did take a beating. Yeah, quite a bit of major damage there. They are heading to Luganville at the moment at cruise speed. Yukazi is actually good. Yeah, she's actually alright. She did expend her torpedoes. It's a shame that none of those torpedoes hit. Had they hit, that would have done a lot of damage. This ship is in a bad situation. The Ujimaru. Yeah, quite bad fires there. Flooding damage isn't too bad, so if she is able to bring these fires under control, she'll probably be able to make it to Luganville. They're a few days out from Luganville of this sort of speed here, so we'll see how that goes. It could be that we detach the light cruiser and destroyer, and yeah. I think we're going to go ahead and do that. I think it's one of these of, I'd rather have Kotori and Kazi survive this than, yeah. Okay. So split Kotori and Yukazi off. Get these guys moving. Right, not full speed of course, so we're going to go with the cruise speed over here. Yep, home port is still Luganville, so tell them to return to Luganville. Yep, so there we go. It might take us just over a day to return to Luganville rather than a couple days. He should be heavily damaged and low on ammunition. Yeah, I can imagine he's practically out of ammunition as well. A lot of reefs coming up. Oh. Yeah, he knows about Kiributai. He has 10 out of 10 detection Kiributai. So I'd be rather intrigued as to how he found out, but I imagine it's probably from the fact of the aircraft, maybe. Something of that sort of nature. But yeah, they're on station and they will bring a terrible vengeance to the area. Now... the interesting question is going to be how do we wish to actually proceed with this, because we could go with, potentially... and I could go... I mean, this is it. We're only a few days out now from Brisbane. I think we might... if we headed straight there, we'd be like, what, 2 days out from Brisbane? Well, we'd be here this turn, then the next turn, we'd obviously be able to move to about here within striking range of Brisbane. But I do think it is worthwhile trying to just ensure the destruction of this force over here. He's not too bothered. I spoke with THD a little bit about this, actually. Obviously, no details shared, but obviously we know from looking at the replay. And he's like, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to get new cruisers and stuff. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know if I can agree with that attitude. It's one of these things of, like, I don't know. Even if I knew all my ships would be replaced, I just can't really agree with the idea of just throwing them in knowing that they're going to die. It's just like, how much more good could you have done with them? had he not thrown them in like this. It seems he attempted to actually hit our invasion force, or at least the actual 61st Naval Guard. He did actually find them, and he did sink the cruiser Kotori. Was it Kotori or Kashima? It's one of those anyway. Which is a shame, because I like those guys. But the 61st Naval Guard is intact. A few losses there, but fairly, just for the most part, intact. I'd have to double check the actual report to make sure if they are actually disabled or destroyed. But for the most part, had Kidabutai not been in the area, he would have probably been able to get away from this. He lost Barca and probably lost Perth. I mean, the Fiji cover force there did come off rather badly. We are going to overhaul how we actually set up our service combat task forces in the future, actually. I think we're going to go for maybe more so same sort of caliber of weapons. Yeah, Kashima, that's it. So same sort of caliber of weapons and speeds. Basically the same class of ship as well, so they can operate basically effectively as the same ship, if you get what I mean. Obviously, they're not having to have a different range envelope or different speeds. And I think for the most part we'll go with smaller task forces perhaps. But then again, it might be that we have... Yeah, I mean, I think it was said that 4 heavy cruisers, 4 destroyers, or 2 heavy cruisers, 4 destroyers, task forces like that work well. I think this is it. Perhaps like small task forces where they're quite nimble could be quite good. THD seems to be the kind of guy, when given enough resources, just throw them enough of the water or something sticks. Yeah, I mean, it's a valid tactic, don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to do him any good in the long run. He is the butcher. Oh dear. And will you send Kidabutai towards Numea more to Comac? I think in the end of the day, it's going to be worthwhile to ensure that we do have a victory over here. I think that would be really quite advisable. We could go for just outside. I mean, this is it, but there's a submarine over here as well. That's something we have to bear in mind. I think what we'll do here, trying to keep the Megamis and Takawas together, yeah, pretty much. What I'm going to do is... See, the issue is it's going to put me a little bit... I don't know. It's a hard question because it's one of these cases of... let's take a look then. So obviously if we move Kidabutai over here then... 6 hexes. So... I don't want to just go like... over the top, you know what I mean? I don't want to go like over the top trying to chase down these cruisers. But then again, I suppose yeah, never mind. I was hoping that maybe we could try and pull something off which is like midway. But the thing is, if we do midway, there's always a chance that he escapes. We might as well ensure that he's defeated here and then we'll go here. So did you figure out why things went so bad in the combat replay? It's hard to tell because obviously we didn't get to see where the forces moved. I'm just going to bring up the pen here just a second. So what happened is we had the Fiji cover force told to head down here. Now what I think happened... I'm going to do this in yellow. So he was about here-ish, weren't he? I think what happened is he went through here. And then I think... obviously it depends on how far they've gone. But I think what happened is that they bypassed each other. Well, the American force bypassed the Fiji cover force. And then I think the Fiji cover force turned around to engage them around about this area over here. Of course, we did have our transports heading over here. And Kitakawa Maru, I was ashamed to have lost the Kitakawa Maru. She would have been very nice. But we'll have to convert another ship to actually replace her. It's never good to lose something like that. She was a very nice asset, but hey. We'll lose assets throughout the war. If we can trade effectively, then at least that brings some honor back to the IGN. But yeah, this is how I think things went over here. I think at the end of the day, thank God that they did come around, otherwise it would have been a case of fully capable ships, albeit without ammunition, but still able to function. Okay. So yeah, I think what we're going to do here then is we'll bring Kidabutai. I'm not interested in being near the actual enemy submarine over there. So I think what I'm going to do here then is we'll go ahead, cancel that destination here, and we'll go with... Right. Retirement is not allowed. Yeah, make sure everything's set up fine. Okay. What we're going to go ahead and do then is we're going to go and head towards over here. The reason for that is, well, frankly... I do find that strange that this has changed colour. That's a little bit concerning, but we should be fine to move this. Obviously it's 4, then another 4, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so we'll end up about this location here. So yeah, I think this is going to be fine. We'll be able to move, and unless he moves over this way, but even if he moves over this way, if we bring up the actual coral reefs, which is over here, yep, he's going to have to head through here as well, which this force is going to be over here. Obviously, they're going to be moving out, but he may run into them inadvertently, so we'll see what happens. Lose all their... Yeah, THG, lose all their carriers, but sinks a couple of light cruisers and 3 destroyers. This was a victory. Yeah. Oh, dear. I wonder how long till THG becomes synonymous with Tokyo Rose. Yeah. And should you have night strikes on a plane so that it does not slip out of the range from the night? See, the thing is with night strikes, it's like they're all well and good, but the thing is, it's like... It's not guaranteed, is it? We'll have a morning strike and then a PM strike, so AM and PM strike. I mean, a night strike could be alright, but I think I'd rather make sure they hit. I mean, it could be done, but I'd rather have them in the day. We are going to have more than enough. I mean, it's like, as you can see, from about this position here, let's take a look. So we'll take a look. Yeah, so we'll be moving towards him. He's obviously going to be slowed down considerably, and yeah, we're not going to be. So we're going to have plenty of range here. What I am going to do then is take a look at the aircraft settings. Good amount of reconnaissance out here as well, which is going to be very much required. In fairness, there's a few of them, isn't there? Oh well. Also, Aoba didn't even take a scratch despite being a heavy cruiser in that one surface engagement. Yeah, that's true. But that's very good to know there. Okay. I'll make sure they're set to low threat threshold, obviously. And the thing is, I don't think we'd have any issues if it did come into battle, as obviously we do have quite the effective screen over here. But it's not as if I'd want to actually have an engagement where the carriers could be damaged. It's not worth it. Okay. Hello there, Black Mesa. Thank you very much there, Black Mesa, for actually purchasing one of the prints. That's really awesome, dude. Really goes a long way in helping support the channel. But let's take a look over here then. So we'll turn off the float planes here for the time being. Sort by model. So we do have the A5M4s. They're running 30% combat patrol. The Zeros are running 30% as well. What I'm going to do is... there's a fair amount of fatigue here, that's the only issue. I think we do need to actually put in some rest here. So I'm going to actually put this to 20% rest as well. So all A6M2 fighters in this hex. I'm going to go to these settings here. We'll go with that. I need to try and get rid of that fatigue there. The B5 and 2 Kate are set to 8,000 feet. Maximum range is 9 hexes. So at 9 hexes, obviously they're going to be using the reduced load, which is 250 kilogram bombs. So obviously they're... Yeah. So torpedoes within 7 hexes. Beyond 7 hexes is bombs, but even then that's still not too bad. Nah, man, it's really great. I hope you do enjoy that. Obviously, get the print there sent off as soon as possible. Only issue is the bloody postage here in this country. In my local area, it's like it's closed on a weekend, and it closes after 1 o'clock, and it's closed like a day or two in the week, and then the weekends it's like rough. Closes at 1 o'clock as well. It's like bloody hell, makes it hard. Maybe going straight south is the best, so you have an in-between position for him, either going south or east or west. Yeah, that's true. My worry is about heading directly into them. And that's my only worry. I think what we might end up doing here then is potentially to try and keep him on edge, maybe. To try and keep him guessing. Let's have a look. So what we could potentially do then, so we're going to be about this position here. What I could potentially try to do then is swing around towards Sydney, and then back up to Brisbane, and then back off home. Which, in all honesty, that makes the most sense. So at least we'll be able to chase down the enemy cruiser force here. Anything else that is in this intervening area would be quite good. I would love to try and take a look at Norfolk Island. If I could get some eyes on Norfolk Island, that'd be amazing. But yeah, I think this would work well. We'll get to hit Sydney. I mean, we could even potentially try to hit Melbourne over here as well. but we'll decide on that one. But this works well. I think this is actually going to turn out to be a better way in. It's going to take longer, but it's going to ideally keep him guessing. He might think I'm heading towards Norfolk. He might think I'm headed towards Auckland, to be honest. But ideally, if he loses sight of us around this sort of area, it would be amazing. So obviously, then we could make a sooner entry into this area here. Well, that's good to know. At least this works out well. Okay. When are you going to take Effet and Tana? See, I'd like to do that once we have this settled here. The area is a little bit contentious here at the moment. I mean, the good news is, obviously, once Kiriputai imposes order in this region, obviously these assets are going to go back to truck to rearm repair, then we should be okay. Okay, but don't you have enough escorts to kill him in case it becomes a direct attack? Yeah, I mean, this is it. Should it become a direct attack, aka like a fleet engagement, surface engagement, then yeah, we obviously have Hiei Kirishima fully ready for battle, 3 heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, and then a bunch of destroyers. But the thing is, it's like, there's always a possibility that he actually shells one of these carriers over here. And it's not worth it. We can't afford that. So we're going to just go along this way. We're going to be well within range. I mean, obviously he's going to be constrained here by the geography. So yep, he's also going to be moving at slower speeds as well, which is good news. Okay. I think it's the good news is as well, obviously, that does help to guard Luganville. So you're going to be heading back to Luganville as we speak, yep. And obviously this could have gone very badly had these transports been hit. I mean, obviously these guys are carrying quite a few men here. But thankfully they did survive the battle. And if we take a look at the combat reports then... yeah, it's a shame that Kirikawa really went down. She did survive the first time, but then she was hit another few times there. That's a shame. Oh, so this was at night. Okay. So this was also at night, so I think that did help save the actual transports here. As you can see, we did get some shell hits on them, but obviously very light hits. Now, the good news is, yeah, 1 squad destroyed, 6 disabled, 6 disabled, so the vast majority of these casualties are recoverable, actually, so that's good to see. But obviously we move on here. I-2, we actually did hit the Don Isidro. This one did survive. 223.82. This is another one that we're going to have to take a look at. Kagayan. Seawolf, Pope over here. Oh! Ha! That's great! Okay, yep, this is fantastic. So we can actually see over here then. Task Force 193 encounters Minefield at Merrick. So we can see that the actual mines at Merrick is actually working out. That's going to surprise him, isn't it? We didn't even know about that one until we just checked that now. That's fantastic. I'm really happy about that. So we can see that's actually effective and we'll continue to do that. And he'll probably look to actually guard that area, but the thing is how long is he going to guard it for? Because I'm going to move submarines in there every now and then, leave behind like a couple mines, they'll last a little while. That's pretty cool, my dude. I'm liking that a lot. That's good to see then. So the Dorissa, we hit that one a mine, very good. But obviously that does actually make us aware of something in that area, so I can actually route some submarines that way. That's really good. Right. Question, are you intending to take the turn soon, or can I get me some dinner? We're going to have a little while on that. I don't think it's going to be like a very, very quick one. It's not going to take too long, but it's not going to take ages either. Yep, obviously quite... and this is it, like, the Fiji cover force expended all of her main armaments in this one battle, so that was impressive. We did hit Seal quite hard. Wharton here did survive, and then afterwards we did hit her. Yeah, we actually did inflict a few casualties over here, which is quite nice. Okay. Yep, then Wharton was finally hit there. Fresher. Yep, Yabali did okay as well. And you're right there, actually, when you bring up the point about mines. Like, we don't have a huge amount of mines. But I think this is a nice use for them. I don't think there's many other places where they're actually as usable. So what I'm going to do here then is bring the I-123 over here. She's actually not too hot when it comes to endurance as well. So what we'll do then is actually bring her around. Bring her around this way. And about here. Should be heading back to refuel at some point in the future. So we know there's something around this area here. So I'll route this submarine to head that way too. There we go. Now, we do see a light cruiser here, supposedly, and destroyers. We know there's a Pope over here. So let's take a look at the actual seascape over here, then. Hello there, Major. How you doing there, my friend? So, yeah, we do have the deep ocean over here. There's also a lot of shallows. I think what we need to do, then, is really pick at which point we actually do decide to go ahead and intercept. The shallows don't work too amazingly well, but I suppose we'll keep the submarine over here, actually. So I'll change her second patrol point to about there. I don't think it's going to move off, actually, but we'll just go for that just in case there's an interception. Work like that. We're going to pull you out. I'll have you head down here, actually. I'm going to anticipate him actually trying to pull out of the area, and so we'll move down this way. Right, there we go. Fun fact, American ships can and are used as minesweepers once, yeah. No, but it's good to see that we did actually have a Allied transport hit a mine over here. It's really quite intriguing. It's good that we actually find out about that. I mean, we did hear something that sounded like a mine, but this is it, we don't think anything of it. Right. Hello there, Sean Mack. How you doing there, my friend? I think these are the areas I need to patrol, these like sort of entry points. Let's take a look then. So if we take a look with F6, yep. So he can cross through here then, for the most part, no issues. I think it probably worth our time to patrol on this side. Where's Minikiri Butai? Minikiri Butai is actually just up over here. With Zuiho and Ryujo. Yeah, I think we'll patrol on this side, actually, of the Malay barrier. Well, I said the Malay barrier. Obviously the Java barrier. The way to look at this is obviously we have a New Guinea barrier of the Java barrier, obviously then the Malay barrier. Rule I gen rules the waves. So then no name, how you doing there, my friend? Good to see you. Okay. So yeah, we'll patrol around this way. I'm going to patrol a little bit off the coast of Don Passar. Passar? I think it's Don Passar. Patrol that area there, really. I think I need to give up with these, like, absolute threat tolerances. I think it's going to bite me in the ass one day. And there's a case of, like... The submarine surviving, for the most part, is worth more. Also, they'll always have another chance to actually get a kill in the future, so there's no point throwing it away. Okay, I'd like to patrol this central area here as well. So what we'll do then is start the patrol down here. Yeah, this is a nice area here. There we go. Nice patrol pattern there. Okay. I'm going to have you begin your patrol about there, and then obviously have it work its way down there. I'm really looking towards trying to control these areas. Yeah, it's a good question actually in regards to like, what is Minikiri Butai going to be doing? It is a good question. If we take a look. So, I mean, we have landed over here, and there's actually a fair amount of men. I don't imagine they're going to be much of an issue due to the fact that they're, not exactly the cream of the crop in terms of troops. I think what I'm doing with them at the moment is just trying to make sure that we can actually ensure security. We could potentially Yeah, I have a lot of heavy cruisers over here, to be honest. It wouldn't be a bad idea to actually have some heavy cruisers potentially head into the South Pacific to replace, well, to actually replace those of which are going to be stood down, obviously, to rearm, repair, that sort of thing. Could set up a nice, effective task force there, actually. And what are our strategic aims? Well, this is it. I suppose the strategic aims is, of course, taking control of the Dutch East Indies, but I suppose my personal goal is, well, obviously to take control of this area over here, if possible. Now, the Yokosuka 3rd SLF has arrived over here, which is good news. So we're going to have them unloaded and made ready. Now, I was looking over the house rules, and the ones that we have agreed to use does state that we can't have single squads at Yokosuka. Well, basically, parachutists landing in these areas. So we'll see how that unit, when it's unloaded, combines or separates. I'd like to actually hit Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur would be the definite one here. But if Malacca could be reached as well via the air, that would be indeed fantastic. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So I'm going to make sure my reconnaissance is really over these areas. It's a fair-sized force, Ramadan. Obviously, the thing is, like, how effective is it? We don't know. But we'll deal with that mode when it comes. So I'm going to set additional reconnaissance to these areas. Yeah, Kuala Lumpur. Hello there, Carl. How you doing there, my friend? Yep, so we did have them set a ground attack, which is interesting. Right, Kuala Lumpur. I'm going to have you overlook Malacca. I'm going to have these guys run naval search. We really don't have much in the way of naval search here, so it would be worthwhile. Especially with that sort of range there. Right, you're overlooking Medan. I'm going to have you at Malacca again. How important is the East Indies oil to the Japanese war effort? Is there a word stronger than critical? Because it would be that one. Okay, so the reconnaissance effort is going to be concentrated here. Wouldn't hurt me to actually have detection over here, but it seems as if things are good there. So what I'm going to do, just in case, well, just on the off chance anyhow. Right, so I have the Naval Guard over here, I have the Yokosuka. We do have elements of the 124th. I'm going to have them loaded up via fast transport so they can actually land down here at Kuantan to capture the base there. In fairness, actually, what we'll do here then is I'll have those forces transported by fast transport to here to Kuantan, then they could potentially march over here, or we'll see what's going to happen, because it might actually take us longer going this road. Well, down the actual track there. As you can see, there's no road. Well, there is a road, but it's a very poor road. So it might be worthwhile just to go along these roads over here at Kuantan. Now, I don't know if I can take this base next turn, considering the fact that I can't even attack it per se. Ideally, we can take it. If not, it's no big issue there. Okay, have them rest. Yeah, don't get the oil by the pillow. Yeah, so this is going to be our way to actually try and regain some time. It's all about time here. It's like Malaya and the Dutch East Indies will inevitably fall no matter what, really. We have the forces in the area to do this, and it will be done. We'd have to really fuck up really, really badly to fail here. So, it will be done. Thy kingdom come. But yeah, the paratroopers are going to be a way for me to try and salvage some honor here. It would be nice. It's not essential. We do still have forces moving south. It looks like these bases are empty for the most part. But if I could pull off like a coup over here, like have parachutists land at Kuala Lumpur, and have forces land in Malacca, ideally that would be amazing. That would just shave a lot of time off here. Right, I really do need to get additional supplies into this area. Absolutely. Okay, the cavalry regiment. We'll have them march. Yeah, we'll get them marching. Ideally, if they can make good time, we'll tell them to head for Malacca. 41st Infantry Regiment. Okay. What I'm going to do here then is going to have them begin to march. Right, elements of the 124th, we'll have them begin to march as well. They are... Yeah, they do have a fair amount of fatigue. We'll rest them as soon as we have the opportunity to do so. But we're going to march these smaller formations down south. I'm going to keep the divisions here for the time being, because I'd like to move them via the rail network. That would be really quite nice. Right, we do have the 1st Tank Regiment over here. The 1st Tank Division obviously isn't going to be reformed anytime soon. So what we're going to do here then is have these guys move out as well. So we'll tell them to begin moving to Kuala Lumpur. Ideally they can try and make it there pretty quickly. Okay. Independent Engineers, 21st, sorry, 23rd, 25th Army over here as well. Okay. So I'm going to rest the divisions. 1st Tank Regiment is already moving south. Well, they're moving south. Yeah, 14th Regiment is moving south as we speak. That's good news. So what's the current plan with the Philippines and the small annoying island hopping you'll have to do? Well, what we're going to do here then is rest our forces for the first and second point. I do have the 81st Naval Guard over here. I'm going to actually have them moved via the rail lines down here to Naga. We do have the rest of the formation over here on Samar. We did take the space over here on Leyte, which is really good. That fell to our control. So what we're going to do then is actually have the 81st reformed over here on Samar, and then we'll have that used to deal with this force here. So we'll get these guys moving. Right, strategic movement. There we go. I mean, for the most part, what we're going to do here, then, I might even do this now, actually. And to be honest, it would be a good time to do this now. They do have a lot of disruption and fatigue. But what I'm thinking here, then, actually consider the fact that the 33rd Division is still over here, well, elements of the 33rd is still over here. It's going to take some time for them to catch up. Okay. 4th Division is completely here, then. They're all here. That's good. Right, I'm going to have 4th Division move out, I think. I need to rest it, but I'd like to get it moved out to where we can actually begin to transport it. So we need to use the 4th Division elsewhere. We've sent the 56th Division south. The 4th Division could be potentially used at Mindanao if required, but it could be very useful at Borneo. So, such as Balikpapan, Tarakan, that sort of area. I read a book on the American experience in World War II, and I have to say I would not want to be one of those boys in Busan right now. Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, if the Dutch East Indies oil is so important, it feels like putting the car before the horse attacked South Pacific before. Well, the thing is, it's like we're not doing one before the other. Well, technically the Dutch East Indies came first, so it is technically first. We're doing both at the same time, really. Obviously, it's one of these things of where these assets are being sent. We can take the Dutch East Indies. It's one of those. We would have done much better had the Mersing Gambit succeeded, but obviously my experience at that point in time was not enough. So that's a shame, but we've learned from our experience. We'll continue to learn from bad experiences and really bring about positive ones. So long as he doesn't commit any forces away from that front, he has enough to take Malaya and the Dutch East Indies, yeah. Yeah, THD is going to try to ruin Wales and stuff of that nature, but we'll deal with that as we have to. Okay, so let's take a look at how we wish to use the division here. It's like I could have the division actually brought over here to Balikpapan. The division here could actually conquer this general area. It's it'd be too soon to actually attack Java, but once Singapore does fall, obviously then we could begin to make moves on Sumatra and Java. Obviously having another division over here would be very good, obviously being a nice position. We could even have it potentially broken up into 3 elements to take different areas rather quickly. But yeah, I think first things first, we'll deal with these troops on Mindanao. Bring Mindanao, just bring the Philippines under our control completely, and then we'll move on to Borneo. Or I might just move on to Borneo first, but the thing is I'd like to make sure we have control down here. We're not too far now from actually subjugating the Philippines. Mindanao is going well, obviously he's pulled his troops over here to Cagayan. I'd imagine that's probably where the vast, if not all, the troops are located, to be honest. I'm not seeing any other troops in this area at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to assume that is where he's actually pulled all his troops to. So wouldn't it be a bad idea to bring the division down there? Now Naga is a size 2 port. Size 2 port here at Antamunan. That's a size 1, but obviously it's in this area over here, the Inland Sea. Don't want to be dealing with that. Well, I say Inland Sea, you know what I mean. I think 2 divisions, the accompanying artillery would be enough to deal with that. Now, I'm also going to bring the armor with me as well. So let's see, we're going to have the 4th division move out. So I'll move them via strategic movement to Naga. And the armor will go with them too. Right. Tell all the armor to head to Naga. Tanks would be nice over the Bataan, but at the end of the day, I think it's a waste of their abilities to do that. I could do a larger port. It's a shame that Manila's not really usable. She's not going to be usable for a fair old while. I mean, once we do deal with Bataan, then we can use Manila like basically as we wish, which would be very welcome. But until then, we can't really do that. Okay, now we do have armored elements over here. I'm going to tell them to instead head for Naga. Obviously, there's other elements in the north over here at Luzon. One's very much on the rail. Well, actually, yeah, at an area where there is a rail line. Obviously, they can just move out then. We're working on a size 3 port over here. Wow. We'll finish building this to size 2, sorry. But yeah, after that, we're not going to use the Pari then again. Really, until much later. San Fernando is going to be one of the main ports here, which, yeah, we'll have to expand the port as we are doing. And New Caledonia is a good base, but it's also super exposed, and the Allies have a crap ton of airplanes there, like 150 Warhawks are stationed, spawned there. We've not seen any aircraft in New Caledonia. He'll probably have something perhaps, but we've not seen anything. The thing is, it's all well and good having, like, fighters, for example. The thing is, though, it's like fighters are useless without actual bombers. Like, the entire reason a fighter exists is because the bomber exists. So as far as it goes, I don't care what fighters he has. If he has bombers, that's the only thing that's going to bother us on the ground, really. I mean, he could potentially use his fighters, but the thing is, it's like, yeah, that's not going to be too good for him. Right. So in terms of artillery, That's a big old mortar. Ah, big old mortar there. Nice big mortars here as well. I'm going to have this medium field artillery regiment sent to Naga as well. At least then we'll have a nice mix. The engineers are going to have to remain here. Then again, no, actually, we'll remain here with the artillery. The artillery is going to be essential to break Bataan, isn't it? So we'll have to do with that. Okay, obviously everything else is going to coalesce over here at Clark, and then also we have it dispatched as we need it. Okay. Now, I was talking about how we have lots of actual cargo ships over here, but I do need to get moving out. So what we're going to do here then is we're going to actually put them into one task force here for the moment. I'm going to have to try and find me some sort of escort, perhaps. So we've got them there. I'm going to look for an escort. We do have a lot of actual transports over here that aren't doing anything, which is not right. I'm going to use these actual transports in this area, so obviously the Indochina area and the Malayan area. We'll have them sent back to Japan. We're going to end up we're going to load up on supplies, actually. We'll load up on supplies. We're going to bring an additional supply down to the Malayan area. So we are lacking here. Right. So, yeah, we have nice troop transports here as well. Yeah, nothing like a big mortar to make a place like Mordor. I like that. Yeah, these are quite good as well. So just going to disband this task force and we'll set things up then. Okay, destroying minesweepers over here. Right, then obviously you're unloading here. So, yeah, look at how many transports we have here. It's an unbelievable amount. A lot of these do actually have supply on board. So what I'm going to do here then... Yep, I could do with this supply here. That's a lot of supply there, 24,000 tons. That would go a long way to help us out here. So what we're going to do then is we're going to unload this cargo here. I'm going to put a troll boat in here as well, just to make sure they have some sort of escort. It's not much, but at least it's something to help guard them. And we're swinging past the surface force with Kitabutai, then moving on to Australia, or are we pushing east? What I've decided to go ahead and do with Kitabutai is if I bring it up over here. So, Kitabutai is over here. They're going to make their way just off the coast of Afet. The reason for that is obviously, well, if he moves this way, he might run to the actual Fiji cover force. I don't think he's going to run that way. He might do, to be honest, but it's a long way to go. I'm going to assume that he might head down to Suva. But as we discussed, I'd like to try and avoid running into him. Obviously, there is the coral reefs over here as well. And the thing is, it's like I could remain here, but I'm not happy about the submarines here. It'd be risking the battleship, as well as the other ships as well. I don't want to risk that. So we'll get moving out of this area. We'll have our forces all head back to track. But yeah, so we're going to head this way, and then we'll head around. And rather than striking at Brisbane first, we could, I mean we could, but what I'm going to look towards doing is striking at Sydney first. Maybe Melbourne, we'll see. It is a little bit further away. But we'll come round, strike at Sydney, then head up to Brisbane, and then back. I'm going to go for about an hour for a Blood Bowl match. Have fun, my dude. That's pretty cool. Okay. But either way, also be within range. I mean, we're already within range here. So we'll be moving here. I can imagine his speed isn't going to be top. Yeah, so these guys moving at mission speed here. Obviously, they're fairly undamaged, which is good news. Direct, please. Okay, the float planes. No, it's one of these. There's not really anything over here that's going to be worthwhile. There could be something there, but I don't think it's worthwhile spending that extra fuel for that. We know he has aircraft over at Suva as well. Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. We'll address that when we get there. We know that there were aircraft over there at Fiji, so I'm not wanted to actually tangle with that as of yet. We'll deal with the easy targets and then move on to Fiji. I think this is it. We'll move on to Fiji when we have the troops ready to move on to Fiji. I can't really digest two things at once in this area, so we'll concentrate on New Caledonia, then obviously move on to Fiji itself when we get there. Right. Okay, we'll have one run night. Yes, these guys are both running night. We'll have you run day then. There we go. Few float planes over here. run one at night. But what I'll do is actually run the shorter range ones at night. So you can run at night. There we go. Ah, bloody hell. Right, there we go. Right, we do have ourselves there. One destroyer, so do not unload. Okay. Mokizuki. Mokizuki. It's not the best. We'll have additional destroyers here to join us. When in fact, actually, what I'm better off doing then is I'll form the 2 destroyer minesweepers into an ASW task force. It's really not good having them in the battle line. Okay. So, yeah. They can just patrol here. He'll have submarines in this area. I can absolutely be... I can be assured of that one, to be honest. Right, so you patrol here. Now, we do have 4 destroyers over here. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to grab these 4 destroyers. So these guys are heading into Luganville. The good news is they're bringing quite a lot of additional supply here, which is good news. But yeah, 4 destroyers over here would be nice. So what I'm going to do here then is split them off into a surface combat force. Now, what they're going to go ahead and do is they're going to head out here. And we're going to meet up with Task Force 80. There we go. They're going to go ahead and merge. What is going to hit his fleet... Sorry, hit his hurt and burned surface fleet. We're not going to hit it with surface ships. I mean, these guys are going to be retired from battle. They're not going to join battle. They're damaged. Their threat tolerance is low as well. So, we're going to have our aircraft. The aircraft are going to be doing this. What I'm looking to do here then is actually set up a guard force over here. So, Kinagusa... Yeah, Kinagusa, she's going to have 4 destroyers alongside her. And to be honest, that'd form a nice little task force for a lot of real purposes, to be honest. Really, that functioned fairly well in all but the most dire circumstances, to be honest. So that works for us. That works well. Just a little input, you will want to look for ships that can upgrade in February and might move them to shipyards. Yep, you're absolutely right there, Martin. Thank you very much there for the nudge in that direction. Right. Yeah, see, she was set to reconnaissance here. So, 50-50. The winner takes it all. They're heading out there. Yep, there we go. Another destroyer over here as well. 4th Infantry Regiment and a Japanese engineer. See, that would be nice over there, Rebella or Comac in the future. Right, low threat tolerance. Get in, get out. Can't really afford you to be struck. But then you do have Kiributai literally next door, so only a few miles away, so you are pretty well protected. We do have 2 AMCs over here, bringing the 84th Naval Guard too. It might be... Let's take a look. Couple hundred troops there. Okay, so what we're going to do here then... Yeah, ABBA's great. I really fucking love ABBA, my dude, so I'm not going to lie, I'd sing ABBA. Okay. I think I might have these forces head for Comac. But what I'll do here then... So we do have this submarine over here moving east, which is interesting. But what I'm going to do here then is I'm going to have these guys head this way. I'll tell them to do that on patrol though, just so they don't bugger off. Right, set patrol. Right, head that way. I don't want them heading towards the enemy as such, so we'll avoid that. I was going to tell them low threat tolerance. There we go. So, yep, they're going to head here, and then next turn they should be able to head into Comac. So, he'll think that he's driven off some troops, but yes, he has. But the 61st Naval Guard, we might even potentially use them to secure these islands over here. We might even just have them folded in with the regiments over here that will hit Noumea. He slows things, but not really by much. Not really by much. These men over here are, for the most part, good. How many men do we actually have here? So just over 1,000 infantrymen, and about 1,500 second-line troops, 2 vehicles, 30 guns, 70 AV here then, in these 2 units. Now, supply is the issue that we are suffering from over here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for supply to arrive over here to Comac. I think it would be worthwhile to do that, than to throw our assets away. We'll wait for that supply, we'll wait for the additional forces to arrive. I mean, this force over here then... no supply aboard, but that's fine, we'll bring supply over there. No, so fast... There's a mine layer, you might want to mine. That's true. That is true. After sinking the surface fleet, will you push your troops onto the island again? Yeah, we're looking towards doing that now as we speak, to be honest. There we go. The thing is, what we're going to do here then is just avoid letting his actions interfere with our own. As long as our own plans continue, even if they're slightly delayed, but as long as they continue, then there's no real loss there. As long as they continue, as long as they are successful, and yeah, we can keep things on a timetable, then we're alright. Will the invasion of Australia save the Empire from potential emu counterattack? And to be honest, it's far too late. The emus have already assumed control. I mean, who do you think is actually orchestrating this war? That's right, the emus. Okay, heading that way, yep, that works for me. Those forces are going to head north. So we do have a submarine over here. You are low in endurance, but what I'm going to do here then is... Let's see. I'm going to have you head towards Comac just in case. One turn at Comac, one day at Comac. But that is going to be there. Just on the off chance that he does head this way. Potentially talks this way as well. These two submarines over here can keep an eye on Noumea. Yeah, you can head down there. Yep, so we're going to wait for supply to arrive here. So we've got things set up for the actual detection over here. What I'm going to look to do now... No need to lose the mine layers. They're doing good. True. Right, 50-50. I'll put 30 in there and make sure they do get some rest. Yeah. Okay. 70-30 there. I need to try and get some additional surge assets down there. No. Too largy. Okay, these destroyers are going to head back to... Yeah, destroyers and oil is going to head back up to truck itself. We'll go fresh... destroyers over here, fresh oilers, the seaplane carrier, well, seaplane cruiser, Mizuho, something like that. Yep, this fuel's going to be really, really nice. So this fuel is going to make its way down. And I don't know, do I have them? I think we'll make our way down towards Luganville. I think it's required. Possibly, we'll see. I don't know, maybe. I'd like to try and refuel Kiributai. But the thing is, it's like, I don't know, we could do a refuel on other ships in that area, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. So I'll have a fuel head down here. And at least there's going to be fuel over here for when Kiributai comes back. We might even have Kiributai meet them somewhere around here. But we'll get it moving for the time being. Now, on board the actual seaplane cruiser. Right. So I do have some additional jakes over here. I'm not going to send the rest of them as of yet. 2 jakes over here. Yeah, we do have some of them here. What I'm going to do then... Right, so you're not within range, it seems. So if we were to transfer you to a base... Okay. Can I actually transfer you to Tulagi? Can't reach you at Tulagi. They might have to go to Funafuti. I'll keep them there for the time being. Yeah, indeed. Right. So I do have additional H6K4s over here. This unit's really spread out. Right, so you're a Wake. Okay, we'll transfer you to Wake. There we go. That's good then. And can we go through subs and check endurance, especially the ones near the west coast? The endurance in this area is not exactly astounding. There's submarines that obviously lack endurance. I2's got plenty. Now, I think we did actually sink something over here at Johnson, which was really good. 3790, 5851, 15398, 18523. Yep, so we weren't able to arrive in time. Now, it's really interesting actually that we do see this force here. 5 ships sighted. I don't know if that is, I don't know, it's really interesting. Put another shrimp on the Apache. Oh, man. Yeah, we'll try and intercept that. I don't think it's going to... I don't know, he might remain on station another day. We'll see what happens. They'll arrive there. So, no issue. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stay here and hit this again. Maybe. (4170). Now, you can't reach Midway. So what I'm going to do then is actually have you patrol around Wake. I don't think that's all of his carriers, which is really quite concerning. I don't know, I have a feeling he might... I don't know, it's interesting. Supposedly 5 ships here. Task Force 88 attacks Allied flag plane at 120-150 near Luganville. Yeah. I might use the 61st then actually to take control of those 2 allies nearby. How in planes attack should be a good indicator, yeah. It seems like... Let's have a look. Right, so we saw 30 SBD-3 Dauntless dive bombers, and only one group of F4, F3 Wildcats. Now... And that was in the afternoon. That could be potentially 1 or 2 carriers. Certainly not more than that. Interesting. Yeah, that was right there, Carl. We'll be bringing them back anyhow due to the fact that we are hunting targets. But we can definitely look at setting that up. Right, troop transport over there, something over there. Okay. So, what I'm going to try and prepare for here then is, let's see, so I have you here, I3. I have you patrolling the French frigate shoal over here. I'm going to have you head over this way. I'm still going to patrol around this general area here. Actually, are you detected though? That's a question. No detection. Oh no, you are detected, okay. Which is intriguing. So we'll move further out. I feel like there might be the... I don't know, the other carriers might be somewhere else. I'm going to bear that in mind. You're heading back. You're heading back, because obviously you're very well damaged. I don't know. I do see ships over here, actually. I-24 is over here. She's not got a huge amount of fuel left, but she'll be able to stay there. Now, 2 PT boats over here. Let's have a look. Deep ocean around that, so I'm going to patrol the deep ocean. There we go, something like that. Can you route using your subs to see what kind of path you will take? Well, this is it. We could do. Not gonna lie, a little hard to see there, isn't it? But, so look. Yeah, looks like that way. So I'll have the French frigate shoal move back there. Just that's not a bad idea. Have that head there, then head back, well, head south then. Yeah, something like that. Right, we did find an enemy out here, so we're going to continue that way. I'm going to bring I-20 back. Mostly due to the fact that her endurance isn't infinite. Right, head to Kwajalein to begin with. Or Kwajalein, whatever you want to say. Okay, we're going to try and hunt the enemy here. Southeast. Yeah, that's true. We'll do our best, though. I'm going to route a path as if I was actually headed to Pearl. I think this is it, really. We'll have them head towards Pearl Harbor, because that's going to be the natural destination for the most part. And they'll pick up enemies on the way, I'd imagine. I think we'll have you remain here. Yeah, so patrol this area. A little bit further out, then. Idea we can pick up on the other transport over here. And this is it. I don't think he was expecting that. I think that was a little bit of arrogance on his part there. Ideally, we can sing something else, and that would make it really quite valuable to us. But we're going to bring these submarines back. I think this is it. It's like it might work out quite well. Because then at least he's going to be thinking, right, okay. He's got submarines off the coast here. I'm going to have to start putting search planes and that's obviously, yeah, this place will become quite dangerous then. So we'll head back where they're going. It's good. We know there's targets out here at sea, so we'll head back. Works for me, really. I-19, she's heading to Palmyra. So we'll hit Vaitupu next turn, which is good. At least then I take the island. And as we know, the winner takes it all. I freaking love that song, man. Oh dear. I think Voulez-Vous though would definitely be one of my favourites there. Aha. No detection there. He's been really looking over Survive quite heavily for a while now. It does lead me to think that he's going to be planning something. Possibly. I'm actually going to assign a superior commander here, while at least we have a chance to do so. Endo. That's a familiar name. There we go. Lieutenant Commander. I think it... something of that nature. I think this is Lieutenant. But yeah. I think he's going to try something to survive, perhaps. Yeah, that's true. We'll also have a lot of small fry. He can use the SW. I'm surprised he's not been patrolling there. I think that really has been a part of his thinking there. I think it's very much thought, okay, he's not going to do this, and yet we did it. So that's nice. It's good to see that the psychology element does actually have a place here. Okay, so we didn't see anything this turn. Right. Okay, these two submarines are really quite valuable. What I am going to do here then is actually going to bring them back. I think it's a waste of our time, a waste of their time over here. The reason being, we don't have a huge amount of submarines that actually do have that equipped, well, that actual table equipment planes, do we? We have a submarine on its way down here to replace them. Well, actually, you're heading back. But I think it's one of these of, I don't really care for what's going over to Auckland. It's good if we can hit something, but it is a dangerous area. It's quite far out there. So I'm going to have them head back. I think those submarines, once they're refueled, we can use them to a much superior angle, really, much superior design elsewhere. I mean, especially when they have the float planes, that's really great. I mean, this is it. We can actually have them patrol around these areas, and yeah, they're going to be there to actually identify targets for the other submarines, really. Probably evacuated his ships when the CVs were spotted for the most part, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we don't know where all of these carriers are. It's interesting that only one carrier is over here. I mean, the other carrier might be heading into Pearl Harbor, the other carriers might be heading in here. He might be having them head elsewhere, but at least we know where one of them is, which is worth something. It's better to know where some of them are than none of them. Okay. So these Jakes are running reconnaissance over the ball, and that's proven to be bloody difficult. Seems to be two bombers over here. What I'm going to do then is lower the altitude further to about 6,000. Well, go for about 6,000 feet then. I'll suppress up in the Bass Strait. Whereabouts is the Bass Strait? Like, I'm good, but I'm not. I'm not that good sometimes. Okay. Right. You're almost unloaded now, which is good news. Good, you've unloaded. Yeah, you're going to be very, very handy. Gusta's going to be joined by some additional forces here, then that's good. Yeah, there are 4 American theatres and American carriers in the theatre right now. Okay. Oh, under Australia, okay. So we'll call this the Luganville Cover Force. So the LCF. So we have the FCF and the the LCF, which is cool. So yep, they're going to patrol this area. I could do with some additional reconnaissance assets down here, to be honest. Aviation support is 46. I need this airfield and I need the port ASAP, really. We do have additional engineers arriving here shortly, which is going to be very, very good, but we need them. Yeah, it makes moving stuff between Sydney and Melbourne difficult. Oh, right over here, yeah. The only issue is it's shallow ocean, and yeah, he's going to have a hell of a nice airfield over here. So it's one of these of where it's all well and good, it can be done, but we have to be quite careful there, otherwise we are going to be well and truly falling into a trap, aren't we? But we'll see as things come up, really. Okay, the good news is we've got fuel coming down here. Our forces are finally reaching the area. Yeah, we have another oil over here, which is really quite good. And then we have a 17th, and then we have additional supply here. Another 2 destroyers, which is good news. These 2 submarines are heading, they're heading down here. They're headed to Luganville as well. It wouldn't go amiss to actually have the RO submarines actually run, basically, patrol around our own bases, really. That's sort of like short-range stuff. At least then we do have something in the way of like a little bit of security and a little bit of proactiveness. And reactiveness, I suppose you could call it. Inherent in our defenses down that way. We'll see, really. We'll see. Commonwealth ASW is much higher. Yeah. Okay. Patrol boats. Submarine over here. Do see a submarine over here, so I'm not going to have that head out there. Right, the transport here. Good, that H6K2L is ready to go. So I'm going to have you transfer down to Luganville. It gives us another one over there. That's good news. Helps us spread out the actual load there. These guys are training, which is what we want them to be doing. Right. That's good. So we'll have the first elements of the 56th Division arriving here. Yep, so they're going to arrive here then on either the 11th. I'm going to say the 11th. Yeah, they'll be here at truck on the 11th of January. Independent engineers over there as well. They'll be there shortly. Kiso is on her way to begin to pick up the rest of this force over here. That's going to be transferred to Inuwatok. Kiyosumi Maru, she's heading up over there to pick up the Chichijima Special Base Force. Yep, our ammunition tender. She's going to be very handy. auxiliary repair, and then we have the other element of the 56th over here, as well as this base force over here as well, which is good news. They're also going to take a few more days to arrive here. I think what we'll do then is we'll wait for the 56th Division to arrive in totality, and then we'll use the 56th against Rabaul. I'd like to try and gather some bloody detection level over here, and Lord knows it is proven difficult to do that. But we'll gather that detection level up over Rabaul, get an idea of what's going on in this area. We'll prepare things. I think it's better to actually have things ready to go, because what we could potentially do then is once Kidabutai is done in her path of destruction down this way, the 56 could begin moving out then to obviously meet up with Kidabutai. She's heading back up towards Truck perhaps, at least then that gives them security. We could even then use her to overwatch the 56 as they make their presence felt at New Britain and then onto Port Moresby. I am going to have to take control of New Guinea here at some point, so I'm going to be using forces to do that in the near future. Okay. 17th over there. We have our tanks over here, yep, so we have Naval Construction Unit over here, but this is quite a viable force, which is guarded by Nagada, 2 destroyers, 3 patrol boats and AMC. Also could do additional security, but there's not really much in the way of threats out here at the moment. But yeah, that's headed in there, carrying quite a few vehicles there, which is going to be very, very good. So the good news is, once we get these forces down there, I mean, they're going to take a couple days. They're not going to take too long there. Yeah. Not far, so what was that, 21 hexes to go? Jesus, that's reminding me of a song. What is it, 21 seconds to go? Yeah, that's pretty cool then. Getting all the music coming up today. But yep, we can get them ready, get the 2 regiments ready. Obviously then various elements of Naval Guard, IGN forces as well, potentially join them. And with that we'd have artillery, we'd have vehicles, we'd have a good amount of men there. So we'd be able to hit Noumea quite hard. Quite hard. And there's always the argument that perhaps we use the 56 to hit Noumea, but the thing is, I think that'd take too long. We have those forces at Luganville, we need to use them. And they're planning. Which is good. Yeah, decent planning now. Have them made ready, really. Right, okay. Have you put in combat mode? Okay, yep, you need to be in rest mode. Obviously, you're still unloading, but we'll get you done. Unloading. You're still unloading here as well. Okay. See, this force is completely unloaded. These have some systems damage over here, which is not too good. So what we're going to do here then is expand that force. I'm just going to put a patrol boat in there. Actually, I'll put them both in there. Why not? And what is that little E next to your task force? That is an actual escort, which is over here at Tulagi. Yep, so she's going to patrol over here at Tulagi. Okay, you're heading out there to patrol the Torres Strait. They're heading back to refuel. See, we do have another oiler that's going to be down here in not too long, actually, 3-4 days. So what I might do is actually have those submarines re-diverted to Tulagi. They could then potentially actually fuel up there, and then they'd be good to go, actually. We could even have them re-armed potentially at Luganville. What was an AV class ship? An AV is a aircraft tender. They're really very nice ships. I mean, what they do is, of course, they can bring additional search planes, which have these guys over here, these Pete. I'm not using them, actually, so I need to get them off the actual ship here. Yeah, okay, 2 seconds, we'll do that. Oops. Right, transfer to Tulagi. Could even divide the unit if I wanted to. It's going to take them some time, so probably by tomorrow they'll be ready to go. Yeah, tomorrow. There we go. What's actually the range here from Buen to Rabaul? Unfortunately too far for them. Yeah, but aircraft tenders actually do bring some aviation support to the bases they go to, so they're really, really good. So it's a shame that we lost that one. It would have been nice if I had her at Bellop Island. But then again, there's no supply here, so it would have been a difficult one. I would have obviously had to float supply here. But either way, it's a shame we did lose this ship. She was a good ship. Still patrolling out here. Okay. Okay. What do I wish to do with you? So we do have elements of special naval landed forces out here. Also, these guys are parachutists, which should be very useful. We'll find a way to use them. Yep, and some others as well. We do have the 24th Infantry Regiment. Obviously, this is a force. Unit organization, yep. They're actually quite spread out here. In terms of the actual division it would form, which would be the 2nd Division. Let's see. Yeah, you do have a few engineers there, so I do need to keep you here for the time being. Is it worth getting some subtenders forward? We actually do have 2 subtenders at Luganville. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to refuel the actual submarines out at Tulagi, more than likely. I could even tell them just to head to Luganville now, actually. Yeah, it might be better just to tell them to head to Luganville. Rearm, refuel them at Luganville, and then, yeah, they're pretty much just on station, aren't they, in that general area, which is really good. So I think as far as it goes for actual forces that we could actually make use of over here, it's really the... I mean, I do have a 2nd independent SLF. Ah, indeed. Okay. I could potentially use that regiment potentially over here or even down this way. It's hard to say what I want to use it for at the time. Well, for this time. Like, she's loaded up and ready to go. Right, well, Isokazi could actually do with some repairs here, to be honest. A few patrol boats here that are not doing anything now. We'll get them busy. Yep, a destroyed tender over there. So we're building up the fortifications here, but also building up the port, which is going to take some time, but obviously We've got additional engineers that'll be arriving here shortly, really. Next couple of days we'll have some good engineers here, which should be good. Really accelerate that work there. I mean, once we get that to a size 7 port, then yeah, we are ready to go and able to do a lot of things. We're building up the naval support as well, as we are flying over elements of... Is it the 5th naval headquarters or the 6th? I forget. I think it's the 6th. But they're being flown over from the marshals to here at Truck, so that's good news. What I'm going to do then is actually take a look at that submarine. So that's under repair, it seems. Right, looks like she's going to be 1 day. That's fine. Yep. A Koku Maru, yeah. Okay, it's not going to take too long. About 20 days should be ready to go. That's good news. Okay. Making good time here. Have them unload. I mean, the big thing here is the Shinshu Maru. She's going to be very, very useful. Now, what do we have here in terms of troop transports? So if I was to go into amphibious, what do I have that's really quite speedy, perhaps? $17 knots, yeah. Hakon Maru. 17 knots, that's very good. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we'll have the 56 arrive over here. I mean, I don't even potentially have to use all of the 56. I think it's probably better to do that than at least it's one of those things when they do unload on the shore, they've actually got all of that equipment rather than elements of it. So yeah, we'll get things planned out. I mean, it depends on what the reconnaissance is showing us there. I'd like to transfer additional assets of search planes down this way, but the issue is I need to get these ready. I think we need to get the airfield set up, just rather than moving them around and breaking them down, let's give them some time just to get themselves ready. Alright. You're unloading at the moment, okay. So I think we had our, were these kind of supplies or engineers? It might have been engineers, actually. Let's take a look. So I could do with moving out of this 16th Army headquarters somewhere. I have a fair amount of engineers here. Yeah, 243 engineers and 13 engineering vehicles. Really quite impressive, to be honest. We'll build on the port pretty quickly. Airfield's been built up as well. So that's good. Okay, what are we doing over here at Saipan? I think we refueled here at Saipan, to be honest. If it is this here... Well, yeah, okay. Obviously, I do need more pilots here. Miyoko Maru. Fushimi, yep, she's a good one. Yusanen, okay. You're gonna remain here. I'm gonna have this force head for Tokyo. It's one of those of, like, do I keep it in this area? But the thing is, it's like, I'd rather not keep them on the front lines where they can be destroyed if they're not needed. I think we have enough, well, I think we have an adequate amount of, like, cargo ships in this area. So I'll have them sent back to Japan, and we might convert the Kyushu into something. The Hoshimi we could definitely convert. Hello there, good man. How you doing, my friend? Okay. We do need to address a weakness that is inherent over here at Sakhalin. Well, Sakhalin and just the Kurils. I don't really have much in the way of defense here. And that is quite worrisome. Run your lane mines. Oh, you're not actually. We're going to just tell you to disband and you can just maintain the minefield. These 2 tankers will be welcomed up at Toyohara. Just going to disband you for the time being, though. See, I do have 2 oilers here that are fueled up and ready to go. I'm going to disband for the time being, just so they're not actually out on display. Press sub chase and how was your week? It's not been too bad, actually. I have finally got around to actually building my Adeptus Titanicus models, actually. So I'm nowhere near finished here. I'm just, like at the moment, all I've got done is, with the Warhounds, is, let's see. Yeah, I've got the legs assembled. I've got the upper torso, like the head bit, mostly assembled. But yeah, there's still some things to be done here, but they're not too far away. I was going to have to watch a video of how to, like, magnetize the weapon arms later on. But yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there, which is quite cool, actually. Thinking about trying to do more things like that, like the modeling side, hobbyist side, bring to the channel, really. I'm thinking maybe next week. I need to decide really where. I was considering if people would maybe think it'd be kind of cool. Perhaps I might go through to different museums or different museum ships, actually, and maybe do some content like that. I've never done anything live, have I? I mean, I don't know if I'd have myself in it. I think it'd be strange. But I might do some semi-live sort of content where I basically head out to these different places, take pictures or maybe take a video, and then we can talk about different things, visit different things. That'd be kind of cool. Hello there, John Murphy. How you doing there, my friend? See, I'm going to be starting education in September, so it's like I'm really, really tempted to like go hell for leather and like book a trip to Japan. But man, that'd be so really far away. That would be so far. But it would be amazing to actually visit Japan and actually go and visit all the different museum ships, visit the naval yards, the bases, that sort of thing. Really get a good grip of the history there. But I think that would have to come into the future, because that'd be a hell of an expensive trip. I don't think I could afford that. But that'd be cool. It'd be really cool if I could try and make a contact over here in Japan, maybe even with like a terrorist board, or somebody who's like in with that sort of aspect. That'd be quite good. But we'll see about that. But at the moment, do forgive me. But yeah, I'm really, really tempted to get into bolt action. Really tempted. If you guys don't know what bolt action is, it's another like miniature war game here. Like Richard York plays bolt action, so I'm really tempted to get into that. I mean, there's a few armies available here. If we take a look, it's like, for example, there's Germany, British, Soviet, American, of course, Japanese, Italian, Polish. There's a couple other armies like Belgian, Finnish, French, Australian, Bulgarian, Hungarian, Romanian, Chinese, and Partisans. Like, I'm finding it really difficult to try and decide on, like, which army I'd actually want to play. It's really hard to make the choice. Like, this really tempts me over here. It's bloody expensive, though, that's the issue. This is why I spend so much bloody time thinking it over. It's like, you get a really lovely looking tank here. Cavalry, obviously the French infantrymen. But yeah, it's hard. Really hard to make the choice. I think the French even get, yeah, they get a super heavy tank over here, the FCM Char 2C, which is awesome. It's called a super heavy tank, but it's really like a really kind of poopy medium tank, to be honest. Obviously in the World War II. But yeah, this is what I've been really tempted by. I don't know, I'd like to try and get into like, the hobbyist side of things as well. Try and bring a different variation of Intel. Video, sorry. What day is it in the game? It is January 10th, and let's actually figure out what day it would be. Go to the old calendar here. Okay. January 10th, 1942. So the 10th would be a Saturday. So it's Saturday, 10th of January, 1942. So any quick intel on what Imperial Japanese military plans are other than ending the heavy Australian radar cruisers? Yeah, that'd be nice. See, what we're going to be doing here then is we do have the AMCs. So I'm going to quickly go over the plans here. So we do have these two AMCs over here that are carrying the elements of the 84th Naval Guard. They're going to head here, then they're going to head into Comac. We're going to have Kiributai, she's going to make a straight course down here just off the coast of the Fet. And then what she's going to do is obviously finish off these cruisers, but then she's going to swing around to head towards Sydney. Then from Sydney back up to Brisbane, from Brisbane back up towards Tulagi or back up towards Rabaul. The 56th is going to be arriving here in about 2 days on the 11th. Well, on the 11th of January, the 56th should be over here at track. We're going to wait for the other elements of the 56 to arrive at track. So once the 56 division is actually assembled at track, ideally we'll have transport organised and actual forces organised, so that when Kiributai is heading back up here, we can actually have the 56 head out to meet them roughly around Rabaul, take Rabaul, and then we might consider keeping Kiributai on station to have the forces escorted to Port Moresby. Oh yeah, we've got a lot of things going on here. We're waiting for the artillery to arrive here, but we're going to have next turn, the 21st. Air Flotilla, we're going to have a 2nd Field Artillery Regiment as well as the 5th Mortar Battalion over here. So we're going to increase the amount of artillery we have. We're going to have, obviously, a 2nd Regiment joining us over here. They were here, but obviously they did flee. So we'll have the 144th, the 4th. We'll have 2 Mortar Battalions, a Field Artillery Regiment, and then we'll have the tanks that will be arriving not too long now. There might be a week before they arrive here. Yeah, the tanks are over here. So it might be a week before the 8th Tank Regiment joins them. So we're pretty good to go. I'll see you later, Goodman. Have a good one, my friend. Yeah, I can't wait to bring these guys to bear. Medium tanks, light tanks. The beauty is, it's like, unless he has anti-tank capabilities, which he might do, he probably will have some sort of anti-tank capabilities, but I don't imagine he'll have a lot, so that's really going to boost the effectiveness of our forces there. By a good margin. Full-scale port raids or just looking for ships off the coast of Australia. What we'll go ahead and do is probably port raids. For the most part, port raids. Obviously, see what we can find there. Reconnaissance is going to be absolutely key. Absolutely key. We should drop emus on the Aussies instead of bombs. So yeah, they'll fall within the month. You mean within the day. So yeah, I've actually been listening to, is it Max Hastings' Nemesis, his book actually on Audible. It's been really intriguing to actually hear about just how much of a son of a bitch that the Australian labour, well, dock workers were, like with the labour unions in Australia, like they were really horrendous. Really, really interesting, just like the massive issues that the Allied forces, well, just Allied Command, had with the Australian labour unions. Really very intriguing. Another thing that was actually quite interesting is the fact that the Australian Communist Party was banned until the entry of the Soviet Union into the war as well. So that was really cool. Hello there, Sat Regard. How you doing, my friend? It's good to see you. But yeah, I need to do a lot of research on this. Really looking forward to the day when I can actually do that. Okay, so the subs are moving down this way. So we do have this over here. Now, I do have a strong force here. Very strong force, actually. So what I'm going to do here, then, is we're going to load up these troops. So, I don't even need both forces here, to be honest. There's really no need. Right. Verify load, accept the load. Okay, so they're going to begin loading. What I'm going to do here, then, is I'm going to form a new task force. Oops. So we'll have Mogami and 4 destroyers here. This is going to be a new task force. So we're going to have this as a Mindanao cover force. Mindanao cover force. So the MCF. And they are going to follow this task force. 306. There we go. You know, if you let those Aussie heavy cruisers run, they're probably going to go back to base in Straya for repair. So if you do swim by, yeah, bottom, they're probably going to get dunked on. Yeah, this is it. That's a good point there, Rez. Really good point. I'm actually going to prepare that force there just in case something does come here. But yeah, we'll get both of those forces loaded up. I mean, I could have a second SLF loaded up as well, but that's going to take some time. So, yep, these guys are going to head to Cagayan. So that's 2 destroyers there. Good amount of supply. Now, I'm not seeing anything over here. It's an interesting thing of how we intend to use them. I'm not going to use the aircraft to actually bomb because I don't think it's a worthwhile idea. There's a good few good few heavy cruisers here. Okay. What I'm going to do here then... We're going to have the TCF. Now the TCF's going to head down to truck. Their purpose is actually going to come into protecting the 56th Division. I don't need this huge armada with them here, so we'll make use of them. Where's Azuya? Azuya, I think she's just off the coast of... she might be over here, actually. Or she might be back at Indochina. She might actually be there. Okay. Well, they were hit pretty hard. Yeah, more than likely slowed down. I can't imagine they probably have no ammunition left. Although I'd expect them to repair first at Fiji or somewhere else. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting, to be honest. What do I do with this? Plenty of zeros. I could do with having them rearmed. Their sorties aren't exactly amazing. Yeah, I doubt that in a turn. You know, I'm really trying to think of what purpose I have in mind for the light carriers here. I need to really reorganize them. I think we might have them head back to Indochina to link up with the two carrier escorts and obviously the battleships, and we can obviously form then a proper carrier force there. I'd like to take a look. See, I was tempted with the truck cover force to actually send something of that nature to the north to like Kurils, or to like Hokkaido, to act as like a defensive force. The thing is though, if he's going to send something, he's going to send something big, so I'm worried. I generally am worried. I don't know if it'd be too early. I think it could be early, and what worries me is maybe there is absolutely a chance that he could contemplate sending American carriers to the Kurils. And that is a big old worry. It is genuinely quite the worry there. I mean, what the hell could I do there? It's concerning, it's a very concerning prospect. And I don't really know what the sort of prospective answer to that would be, other than just obviously having aircraft squadrons being able to be assigned there. I think we do need some surface assets to protect against raiders. But I don't know. I think it's dangerous, and I think it's very much something that we have to consider as a potential possibility. Who knows? That would honestly be like the darkest hour sort of scenario there. It's just one of these things of like, as far as it goes for THG, why would he not do it? You know what I mean? Like, he could do it, why would he not? It's like, sure. I don't know. I think it's something that we really have to consider, and I think it's something that we have to try and figure out how we're going to deal with that. I'm not saying there's going to be a raid by the Kurils, but I'm just saying it's a good possibility, and as Infinite Monkey pointed out in the last session, the distance from the US West Coast is... the West Coast really isn't that far. And that is worrisome. We're going to look towards a Kurils, well, an Aleutian campaign, in March kind of time. What could be so big in the Dutch East Indies or whatever you're talking about? In terms of, like, well, as far as it goes for the Dutch East Indies, it's like I want to form that force up to be, like, one united force. So, I don't know. I think when it comes to the battleships, I think it's an interesting question, really. It's hard figuring out how to use these battleships in ways. I think sometimes it'd be easier to use a heavy cruiser than a battleship. Like, see, the battleships, obviously they are fantastic, but the thing is they are very fuel hungry. I mean, they do present a huge amount of A8, so that's nice, and obviously it's an armoured behemoth. It is interesting. We'll have to consider that one. I mean, there's a good part of me that thinks maybe we should assign additional battleships to the Pacific. It wouldn't hurt to actually have bombardment available for certain islands. But the question is going to be like where we're going to use it, because it's going to quickly dry up as far as it goes for like workable targets. Yeah, watch out. The HG is working on something called the Manhattan Project. Yeah. Oh dear. See, the thing is, when it comes to nukes in this game, 2 nukes are fine, but if you use as a 3rd nuke, then yeah, I think the game actually ends in a... I think the game ends and it's like I gain 2 levels of victory. So basically it can turn what would have been like a allied victory into an allied draw. Yeah, they are hard to rearm. That's the most serious problem indeed. I think they'll come in far more handy once we do have Singapore available to us. It's one of these, it's like I could use them to bombard, but we do have to be careful. I think maybe they could be maybe useful down around this area, but even then I don't know. I think they could be most useful perhaps in the Pacific, where having something that is very well armed, very well armoured could be very handy. Especially when it comes to actually protecting our forces. See, I'd really like to read upon, like, Japanese sort of doctrine, like, what was their force, what was their uses. But I think in some ways it's actually more useful to read American doctrine when it comes to these sort of assets. But then again, their approach, well, I mean, the American point of view is one of industrial supremacy, really, isn't it? It's like, they did build more. We are kind of stuck with what we have, aren't we? So we have to really think about things in a different way. I don't know. I think potentially having them in the Pacific could be very handy. They are quite slow, that's the only issue. They're not quick enough to keep up with Kiribati, so it's really restricted to, like, the escort carriers. I think, to be honest, maybe having the escort carriers and potentially the battleships, or maybe 1 battleship, maybe 2 battleships, something of that sort of region of numbers. I think something like that could really form a very effective and invasion support force. Obviously, that we'd have the escort carriers with some bombers, or mostly fighters for the most part. And then obviously they could look after amphibious forces, but we'll see. Yeah, I think we're going to have to touch upon that one. But I think the Singapore Express is going to head back towards Indochina. Question is going to be like, do we head around the north of the Philippines and down? Possibly. We'll see. We also do need to consider when the upgrades are going to come into effect. We know that at least the HG carriers are all busy with getting back to Pearl, probably unless they like weekly visits to the, to California. Well, that's it, John. You are right on that one. I think, in all honesty, it is very important that we actually do have control over these islands over here, to be honest, because it'd be great to actually get additional search elements. Like, let's see here. So, yeah, so 10 hexes. So I have detection around this sort of area within about 10 hexes. Obviously, if I could get another squadron of Jakes positioned over here at Midway. And I mean, what I need to do is actually get some H6K4s actually positioned over here at Wake. Because then we'd be looking at, what would it be, about 20 hexes? It's about 21. So yeah, we'd be looking at something like that sort of range for H6K4s. And I think the only way to defeat a potential raid on the Kurils is having the intelligence, is having the actual planning in place. So I'm going to have to look towards actually establishing a Japanese airfield engineer force over here. Well, aviation engineer force. So we'll see what we can do to that degree now, actually. Right, so I have the second reconnaissance, which is obviously building up in strength. Yeah, they're actually trained on Singapore, so that's good news. Okay. Tokyo. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this force actually assigned to Panamusho Jima. Panamusho Jima. Something like that. Panamusho Jima. Okay. So I'm going to have them move strategically to... We know there's submarines around here, so that's an irritation. I could have them moved over here to Hidasaki/Omori. It would add some travel time on, but at least they're going to be absolutely safe at that side of Japan. So we'll have them move up over that way. Also, Japanese Submarine Tactic 101, attack enemy capital ships, that's it, ignore anything that doesn't look important. See, that was the thing with, actually, it's really intriguing. It's like, from what I've heard of Nemesis, obviously, Max Hastings. Max Hastings' Nemesis, I think it is. I think it's Max Hastings, or it's Tom Holland. I think it's Max Hastings. Though. He talks about how, intriguingly, the Japanese Japanese submarine captains were quite cautious, very cautious. While the American submarine captains, for the most part, were quite aggressive. But supposedly, much like the Japanese, the American submariners were quite focused on trying to hunt down warships. Which is all well and good, but I suppose at the end of the day, a warship is a warship and is a nice asset, but it's really... I mean, to defeat Japan, I mean, for THG to defeat us, it's like he could sink the fleet, he could sink the fleets, he could destroy the air force, he could destroy the army, but as long as the economy still functions, we can still fight. It's when the economy breaks down, then, yeah, that's when there's no way we can fight back. It's going to be a war of economics, really. And now, thankfully, we haven't really taken anything in the way of losses around Japan itself, but we do have to be very, very careful about this. We have to be really quite on the ball there. Okay. See, it's been rather intriguing, actually. I've been reading, obviously, my book War Plan Orange, and it's really, really intriguing, actually. It's like, there's a chapter I was just reading, it's talking about how basically, I believe it was Admiral Kimmel, or Commander Kimmel, I believe it was Admiral Kimmel, that basically there was orders perhaps in place for, well, I can't remember who was directly in command. I think it was McMorris who came up with the plan. Something of that nature. I'd have to reread the chapter to give you the exact names. But supposedly there was a plan in place for an offensive plan, basically. So what I'm going to do here then is just... whoops. By US forces, so just move the camera. Yeah. Okay, so the plan would have been for a US carrier force to actually head through the Marshalls, or it might have been like that and out. Yeah, I think it's about that and out. Yeah, I think the plan was for the US carrier force to head that way. And then a week later, they'd head back through again. Now, there would have been a American battleship force about this point over here. Some way off from the Marshall Islands. And, of course, the US forces did obviously still hold on to Wake over here. So, of course, they did have VPs over here. So, obviously, they did have float planes. Well, patrol boats, you know what I mean, the big flying boats. Now, supposedly, the plan was kind of intended to try and draw, well, Isoroku Yamamoto and the combined fleet to the Marshalls to potentially around this sort of area, where then they could actually engage the combined fleet in a decisive battle. Now, there's no real... this plan, as such, doesn't exist. There's no actual records of it. As far as it goes for the offensive plan, there is like comments that relate to it, so it's really intriguing, actually. I'd have to reread that chapter. War Plan Orange had no chance. Oh yeah, I mean, this is it. War Plan Orange, as far as it goes for the through ticket to the Philippines, I mean, that one, yeah, that had died quite a few decades before this point over here, obviously, when the war began. Yeah, they had long since realised that the Philippines would have fallen no matter what, really. I mean, it's interesting when it comes to MacArthur. Like, MacArthur is a very interesting fellow, and a bit of a dick, to be honest. I think one of the things is, it's like, I'd like to try and see if there's any videos out there discussing, like, was it worth it for the US forces to actually head into the Philippines? I mean, I think that was predominantly down to MacArthur's insistence on heading back to the Philippines. And it's like, really hearing about the accounts of MacArthur in the Philippines, and it's like, Jesus Christ, the man's a dick. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a lot more research on this. I'm really happy the fact I'm reading Warplan Orange, listening to Nemesis, but I've got so many more books to read. It's like maybe in about a few years I'll be able to talk on this sort of subject with some sort of mediocrity, you know what I mean? It's going to take a long time to actually get into the point where I actually feel like I could tell people, you know what I mean? Or at least inform people. It's a wall if I can stop you but keep throwing stones at my non-bulletproof windows. Yeah, indeed a bit. Yeah, the man was an arse. But no, it's very interesting. Okay, so we do have our APDs over here. They're just unloading supply. Actually, they just loaded supply. Now, that supply was loaded to actually head into Brunei. Yeah, you're actually right there. Oh, dear. No, this is it. See, I need to read upon the Korean War, actually. That's something I really don't know that much about. And it's incredible to think, isn't it, that the Korean War didn't take place, well, took place not that long after the end of the Second World War, so it's, yeah, really intriguing. Need to read that one. Okay, so we've got supply over here, then. What I'm going to do, then, is unload these supplies, and these two APDs are going to head back in towards into China. Possibly as an escort for something here. Okay, I do need to be aware that there are enemy submarines over here. Yeah. Oh, this is it. It's one of those, though, isn't it? It's like a lot of men died over here. A lot of civilians died over here as well. And Jesus Christ, listen to some of the atrocities that the Japanese committed was insane. It's like, obviously Nemesis, it's like it goes onto an account, well, it goes onto an account of like a Japanese soldier raping, I think it was a young girl on the street, or a young woman on the streets. I think that was during like a firefight as well. While a firefight was occurring, a Japanese soldier raped a young, well, Filipino, and then like, Jesus Christ, like, I think it was using bayonet or some sort of weapon, like sliced her from the abdomen down. So that was crazy. Absolutely insane brutality. Absolutely crazy. I'm getting a little bit off topic there. It's one of these things. It's like I feel like I need to do a lot more research to be able to speak about any of these things with any sort of authority, and even then that's pushing the envelope way out there if I say authority. Okay. What we're going to do here then. Now we do have cargo ships that are unloading supply at the moment. They're going to be the ones that are going to be, I think they're okay to remain here. I think that would give us enough capacity. But I'm going to have the vast majority of these cargo ships actually sent back to Japan. I think it's absolutely useless having them just rotting here in Malaya. There's a lot of ships over here that could be put to great use, especially these ships over here that have been converted to have their cargo space. So yeah, their cargo space converted to actually carry additional troops. So yeah, these guys are really handy back in Japan, or even back at Takao, like Formosa. What I'm going to do here then, I'm going to grab Hakakazi. I do have a couple of destroyed minesweepers here. I'm going to bring them along for the ride, actually. The reason being, at least it does give me some additional escorts here. So we'd have 2 destroyers and 4 destroyed minesweepers. It's a very small escort force for a very large convoy. But I'm going to have them head over here to Kampong Truck. How the hell you say it. Then we can actually pick up the additional ones over here. You could do what I do, actually, RG, to pretend you know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is it. See, you know what I find incredible when it comes to actually talking about anything to do with history? It's like, I find it really hard. I can't remember who said it now, but I think there's a saying out there somewhere that supposedly the more you know about a subject, the less you feel you know, which is really intriguing. I don't know. I find it hard sometimes to actually try and convey things to other people that don't know about these sort of subjects. Just because it's, I think it's one of these things of like, it's like, where do you start? You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in like a patronising way. It's just like trying to think of the best way to explain something to somebody. Sometimes it's quite hard. Activating the Soviets. The Imperial Japanese Navy has quite some forces. Yeah, indeed. Let's do it. At least the Yamato got to sing something in its history of going to places as a fancy hotel. See, that's really interesting. Like, the Battle of Samar could have been really intriguing. Yeah, it could have been very different. And don't you still have a heavy cruiser in Saigon under repair? I believe we do. We also have Soyot over here, which is going to be handy. Destroyer tender here as well. We have so many forces over here that I need to make use of. These are very, very good. Just double check over here. We do have Maya. She's under pier-side repairs at the moment. I think she needs to be moved to Hong Kong, to be honest. Yeah, there's a lot of major damage. That major damage is not going to be repaired. She could be moved. Yeah, she could do with being moved to Hong Kong. I need escorts in this area. Yeah, they really did. You're right there, Finnish Jaeger. Right, how are these Zeros doing? They're resting. Still got some fatigue here, but they're getting there. Yeah, you're right there, Remembrant. No, you're right. I mean, this is it. It's just in any war zone, isn't it? Really, just horrific things happen on all sides, really. Okay, I do have a submarine over here. I-166. She could do with heading elsewhere. Okay, I'm gonna have I-166 actually head into, see, what do we have at Saigon? I think Saigon does have some repair shipyard. She does have 10, so 10,000 tons worth of repair shipyard. Yeah, she can look after the I-166. Okay, so I-166 is gonna head over here to Saigon. We've got our two mine layers over here. They're headed into rearm with the mines. Possibly. We may have them used elsewhere. It is good to see that they still have their torpedoes. Seems they only carry like half their torpedo load then. But yeah, we'll have them rearmed with, well, mines. We've seen that this minefield America has been quite good actually. So I think we might put down another minefield there, perhaps. Or even elsewhere. We'll see about that one. Need to find the best places to actually place them, really. Need to decide on that one, don't we? So got our forces moving over here. Let's take a look at these battleships, actually. We're not that far from the end of the turn, to be honest, guys. 1243. A little bit of major damage there, unfortunately. Okay, let's take a look at our orders for the air, well, for air power over here. Hit the ground over there, but obviously that's not going to do a lot. I think what we're going to do here, then, is we're going to ground our planes for the time being. I'm going to run combat air patrol over a low star. I'm going to have the level bombers actually grounded. I want them to recover this fatigue. Once we identify a target in melee, I'm going to use them against it, but I want them ready. In fact, actually, we'll have them train. Our level bombers here train. The Emperor's on the phone. He says, quit breaking his battleships, indeed. Alright, good, we need them unloaded. Plenty of nice troop transports over here, actually. Had them patrol around here at Cotabru. Well, Baru, not Baru. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we start the production of K-21 2A Sallies, or is it 2A or 2C? Yeah, the 2As. So we start the production of the 2A Sallies and the G4M1s as well. We're not producing any more of those airframes, we're actually saving the engines. I think the Jake actually uses the same engine, to be honest. Yeah, you're right there, John. As I say, when we did start this, he had far more experience than I did. I'm not, like, using that as an excuse, I'm just saying that is, like, a fact he did have more experience. And I've had to learn pretty quick. And it's been really, it's been awesome, to be honest. Until, like, I love trying to, like I love learning under pressure, so I like that sort of thing. We are in Borneo. We're going to be diving onto Borneo sooner or later. The thing is, with Sumatra, we need Singapore first. Kiributai. We're still yet to make that decision. We're going to get back to that one. We're going to take Mindanao, and then we're going to move on to Borneo. We've got elements around Borneo, obviously, like this point here. In Sarawak and obviously northern Borneo. But we're going to take Mindanao, and then we're going to move on to Borneo. We will take Sumatra and Java once Singapore's fallen. Issue is, it'd just be it'd be very difficult if I move past Singapore, just because it is such an astoundingly dangerous port and base. It's just a base in general. It's one of these things. It's like he could cause a lot of problems that way. We need a nice large base to actually act as our logistics hub, really. Yeah, Java C Barber nice. Okay. I'm gonna have Kitty Bootai head down this way. And then we'll have them head up through the Sulu Sea, I think. We don't need to use the drop tanks, to be honest. There we go. Well, to be honest, we want them... No, I'm actually going to have them at 2 different altitudes. Yeah, 18,000 feet be okay, actually. Yeah, we had a... Yeah, I mean, this is it. Like, Jesus, Sasha. It's like, I wish I'd actually tried against the AI first and foremost. I honestly did not expect a result that bad, but man, that was an awful, awful way to begin. Especially combined with, like, a very meh Pearl Harbor. That was rough. Yeah, you're right there, Sasha. But, I mean, this is it. It's like, one day I'd love to do another play-by-email series, like a full grand campaign. But this one is going to be special, so always going to be special due to the fact that this is the first one. And it's the one where we're going to learn from these mistakes. So in all honesty, I think it just adds, spice to the flavour, really. Having to, like, really come back from these mistakes, having to come back from this hardship. I think we'll learn more through that. Which is going to be good. Okay, you're heading to Cameron Bay. That's good. At least I'll bring 2 destroyers there. Okay. Yep, we've got our Ki-43-1C Oscars over here to the first Sentai. So, still good few of them over here. We do have 5 in the pool now. I think it'd be a good idea to potentially just give them over to this squadron here. Get it up to full strength there. How many do we actually have? I think we have 30 in the squadron. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it might be a case that it should just... Yeah. Right, group total is 28. Or does that just tell me the group total now? Or does it just tell me the total now? We'll see, actually. My father was on the Oklahoma rappel. Wow. I assume he survived? I hope he survived. Hell of an experience, nonetheless. I'll have them training while they're here, actually. Never a bad idea to keep them training. Fairly good experience in the squadron as well. Very, very good experience. Ah, 42, okay. So I'll place the extra planes in here then. Well, they went straight in. There we go. Okay. I mean, 42 Ki-43-1Cs is going to be a phenomenal amount. So we'll get those in there. Going to be a couple of days, but in a couple of days we're actually going to have a shite load of fighters down here. Like, we already have enough fighters to completely drown the skies out. But yeah, we're going to make sure that we have enough, and we're going to have enough to cover a lot of operations. I'd like to have an operation run over here to capture Singkawang. He was killed, then I was born 21 years. Ah, oh, man, dude. I'm sorry to hear about that. No, I have no idea how old you are. I'm not going to question that. Okay. So I need to move some transport aircraft over here. Get them ready. Good range on these guys. In all honesty, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just get them all there. They have very short range. Good, I'm glad he survived. I was just thinking that 21 years later went well. We're going to keep the bombers resting for the time being. What we're going to do is when the time comes is use our bombers to actually hit the airfield. Jesus, 99, bloody hell. Good old dry page there. What do I have in terms of capacity here? We've got a size 6 airfield, so I think we're pretty good on capacity. Building the port up to size 2. Yeah, we're looking pretty good here. So what I'm going to do is actually send a good couple transports in there. Now, if I take a look at the range, what's the range here from Kutabaru? 3, 4, yep, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Get them moving over there to Kutabaru. We'll be good to go the next turn. I'm going to have them rest this day as well. Have to transfer them in next turn. Right, so set all troop transports here to rest. Not many there in reserve, but we'll still have them. Can we do a low-level bombing run? Not of Singapore. The thing is, it's like we can do a, I don't know, maybe 12,000 feet, something of that sort of nature. But I'm not gonna say now. I'm gonna get my thing. I'm gonna get everything ready and sorted first. I'm gonna give the K-21 some time to recover, really. But I think as far as it goes for bombing Singapore, we're gonna, I don't know, we'll wait and bide our time. It looks like the bombers have moved out of Singapore from what I can tell here. It's not as fighters here, so the thing is, it's like, I don't think it's worth bombing fighters. At least not at the moment. What I'll do is I'll use the bombers to actually hit his ground forces. I think that'd be far more useful, really. But obviously, we'll see when that comes to it. I have a little bit of a time here. Just rest. So, what I'm going to do then, is let's take a look. I need to figure out what engine the E13A1 uses. I think it uses the same as the Ki-21. So let's go over here then. So Ki-21. Aircraft, you use the Mitsubishi Ha-32. Ha-33, okay. Well, that's good to know. I don't think there's anything else that uses the Ha-32. In the production being shut down here for the time being isn't too bad either. Obviously it's going to give us a little bit of an excess of heavy industry, which is going to be good. If we take a look over here then, so armaments. So we only have 6,720 points of armaments in the pool here. And obviously they're all producing. No expansion. Medan, there's 12 bombers over here, but I'm going to leave them. They're properly damaged and they're of no consequence here at the moment. Alright, it's not expanding over here. R&D is going to pick up pace once we get the supply situation sorted out. No. No repair. Good, no repair. Shit. I'm not going to repair anything. There we go. No repairs. The reason for that is it costs us valuable supply. It's really not worth it. Got Pearl Harbor, didn't I? Thank you very much there, John. That's appreciated. Oh dear. Okay. So let's go over our ground orders in China. So these men are still to rest here. I need more supplies. I can manage for the time being, but we're going to need some more. Okay, 3rd Division's actually going to move to Wuchang. They'll be able to repair more effectively there. Ah, 11th Army is already here then. That's good to know. Okay, with the forces over here then, we can begin the battle next turn. As we will do. Good amount of supplies of the Hex. Good amount. Forces moving out. It's good news. Right, have you unloaded so we can actually reform you if we can do. Ah, there we go. We finally reached them here. Good. Very good. Excellent, in fact. I mean, if I was mad, I'd consider a shock attack. I could probably win it, but, I mean, the terrain's not really amazing. Might as well use our forces. I mean, we've got, yeah, 205 guns. Full division now. We might as well use the force effectively. I don't want to have them burnt out, you know what I mean? Have them rest. Yep, okay. Those guys already moving. These guys over here can rest. I mean, I could have, like, 2/3 of the division begin to march up over this way, but the thing is, I mean, maybe we could do that, maybe. I think I'd rather take Hanshin and then march the division up that way. I think it would take a very long time to actually have them recombine them, perhaps. We'll wait for our additional assets to arrive, but these guys for the time being can just rest. What we're going to do then is, we'll have them all plan for Changsha. Well, Hengyang, actually. So we'll all plan for Hengyang. I'll be able to move elements out of here as well shortly. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, this actually makes me feel significantly better. What do we have here, port-wise? I'm going to have them based over here at Aminato. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I would like them elsewhere, but I mean, I'd like to have something in the way of, like, actual security over this way. Okay, it looks like it's trying to intercept this patrol here. Well, that path. Right. Looking forward to the day we get plenty more on the way of patrol boats. So we absolutely need them. Plenty of sub-chasers here. Okay. Patrol boats are supposed to be out this way. Sub-chasers. They can remain there. But yeah, we need more. Right, 2 engineer units here. I don't really need to supply that, do I? Especially not that much. I'll supply, but I don't really need that much. Just, yeah, just a tiny amount will be fine. Port's nearly expanded. Yeah, like, over here I'm not really even sending that much. Doesn't seem like we need a huge amount. Okay. Yeah, so that's called off. Transport's over here. Yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, I think we are pretty much good to go. I mean, they're moving up. I mean, they might make it. We're going to attack here next turn anyhow, so just hopefully that unit isn't wiped out. Yeah, this brigade needs to march to Changsha, then it can rail down here as well. Yep, so the next coming days we are going to begin to prepare for the advance towards Changsha. So these forces, the 30th is going to take care of this unit over here, chase that down over to Kuilin or Lichao. I was going to have Pak Hoi come under attack, possibly the next turn, really. What's the terrain there? Yeah, they could be there next turn. So we should be able to take Pak Hoi then. With Pak Hoi taken, and then eventually Wenchao will have the entirety of the coastline. And yeah, we'll begin our operations there to really go about decapitating the Chinese. It's going to be a case of we have our forces make their way down here. Here as well. And then, yeah, what we're going to do here then is march our forces this way. Bugger the Burma Road. We're going to decapitate the Chinese. That would effectively kill the Chinese. And with that, we could then clean up for the most part. And score quite a bit of VP there, really. Gain access to some nice heavy industry, light industry, resources, that sort of stuff. But most importantly, then be able to send forces to Burma and begin the Burma operation, the Burma campaign, and the Indian campaign. Really good there. Indeed. Okay, so I think with that, about ready to go. Yeah, I mean, this is quite the debacle last turn, but it should be cleared up. We should ideally come out as the victor. Okay. Yeah. Trawling around here, pulling the submarines back. We're pulling the submarines back over this way. This submarine's going to head in there where the mine was set off. Yeah, looks like Burma, bugger it, I guess. Yes, this is it. I mean, the thing is, it's like, there's a lot of divisions out here that I could never afford the political point cost to actually have them transferred to other theatres. So, I mean, there's a lot to gain from Burma and India, VP-wise. So we'll begin the operations over there. There's a point to be made for not even bothering, but the thing is, it's like, it's worthwhile. Obviously, what can be sent to the Dutch East Indies will be sent there, but yeah, there's a lot that could be won over in Burma and India. So yeah, we'll have to fight that campaign at some point in the future. But yep, I'm going to go ahead and say that is the turn over, really. So yeah, I'm pretty good with that. I think we've got most things there. Industry's undergoing its transformation, which is good. Yeah, we'll call that then. Okay, so let's go ahead there. What do we go with name-wise? I don't know, I'm no poet, but we'll go with that one. Actually. Look to the morning for salvation, look to the skies. Yeah, that'll go for them, that'll sound pretty ominous. We'll go with that one. Japan rules the waves. We'll do that one in the future. When we have a really good time, we'll do that one. But yes, thank you very much there, ladies and gentlemen. I really do hope you guys have enjoyed this. And I've enjoyed it as ever. And of course, if you guys would like to support me, you can do this through Patreon. Now, I've got it listed here on Patreon. So let's bring that up so you guys can see. So I've got this listed on Patreon. How do I show? I don't know how to show. Bugger. Pretend I was doing this in a good way. Yep, so I've got it listed over here then. So, of course you can see here, I've had it converted into dollars, so it's easy for you guys. But yeah, if you guys would like to actually support myself and the channel, you can do this by becoming a Patreon backer. And of course, obviously, if you make the donation over here, you will have a print sent out to you, which is really quite good. I wish I could send this print, I do need to change that actually. I wish I could, but due to copyright potential issues, I can't. So yeah, I'll change that one. But this would be the print you'd be receiving, which is really bloody good quality. Like, yeah, I've actually felt the thing itself. It's 250 GSM silk, laminated gloss, really high shebang. So, thank you for watching, guys. And until next time, it's going to be a good turn. I think it's going to be a good turn. Goodbye for now. See you next time.